Imagine, you're home alone, it's past midnight, and there's a knock at your door. You look through the peephole, and there are two children standing on your porch. No adults, no car in the driveway, just two small figures standing completely still in the dark. You should feel relief. They're just kids, but something in your guts tells you not to open that door. You should always trust that feeling. They are called the black-eyed children, or sometimes the black-eyed kid, and for the past few decades, reports of encounters with them have surfaced from every corner of the world. Remote parking lots, rural highway, quiet suburban streets, the middle of the night, and sometimes in broad daylight. The stories all share the same impossible detail every time. Two children, sometimes three, age ranging from roughly 6 to 16, they approach you at your car window, your front door, your hotel room, and they ask to come inside. They seem almost normal, until you see their eyes. Witnesses describe the children as pale, unnaturally pale. Their skin, almost gray in certain light, or alabaster white, like something that has not seen the sun in a very long time. Their clothing are often described as plain, nondescript, almost deliberately average. Jeans, a hoodie, a simple shoes. Nothing that will make them stand out. Nothing that will make you look twice. Until the eyes. Completely black. No whites, no iris, no pupil. Just solid, flat, deathless black. Like staring into two holes. Witnesses describe a wave of terror washing over them the moment they make eye contact. Not just fear, something older, something primal. An overwhelming sense that something is deeply, fundamentally wrong. Some people describe it as the feeling that the thing, looking back at you, is not a child, has never been a child, and is simply wearing the shape of one. The case that started it all happened in January 1996 in Abilene, Texas. A journalist named Brian Bethel was sitting alone in his car in a parking lot one night, writing out a check. It was dark, late, and two boys walked out of the shadows and stopped at his window. He described them as olive skin, maybe 12 or 14 years old. They were smiling at him, and they asked, very politely, if he could give them a ride to the movie. Said they'd forgotten the money and just needed a lift. Now, here's what Bethel said happened next. He found himself reaching for the door lock, not to lock it, to unlock it. He felt a compulsion, an irresistible pull to just let them in, like the decision was being made for him. And then one of the boys looked up, and Bethel saw his eye. He said the world dropped out from under him. He floored the gas and got out of that parking lot. And when he looked in his rearview mirror, the boys were gone. No car had come, no one had walked them away. They were simply gone. Bethel posted his account online and the floodgates opened. After Bethel's account spread online, hundreds of people came forward from the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, encounter after encounter, all describing the same thing. A woman in Oregon, alone in her motel room at 2 in the morning, knock at the door. She opens it to the chain, two children standing in the corridor, asking to use her phone. She said she felt sick the moment she saw them, like her body was rejecting the sight of them. She closed the door without a word and didn't sleep that night. A man on a rural highway in Tennessee, driving alone at night, two children standing at the edge of the road, thumbs out. He slowed down and then cut their eyes in his headlight. He said he could not describe it as black. He said it was more like the absence of anything, like their eyes were just open hole in a face. It didn't stop. Another story is about a family in England. A knock at the door on a Sunday afternoon in full daylight. A child standing alone, asking to come in and use the bathroom. The mother said she felt a child she couldn't explain. She told the child to wait, close the door, and watch through the window. The child stood there for 11 minutes without moving at all. Then turned and walked away. Here is what makes these encounters so deeply strange. Across hundreds of reports from people who have never met, who have never compared notes, the rules are always the same. The children never enter uninvited. They ask, they plead, they insist, but they do not cross the threshold. They always have an excuse, a reason, a justification for why you need to let them in. Either they need to call their parents, their car broke down, their friend is hurt, they're cold, or they're scared. And here is what witnesses says almost universally. The words sound right, but the delivery is wrong. Like someone reading from a script they don't fully understand. Like something that has studied how children speak, but hasn't quite got it down yet. They never look away from you. They don't fidget, don't look around. They just hold eye contact with those black eyes. And they keep asking over and over the same request with a patience that doesn't feel human. Like they have all the time in the world. Like they have done this before. Many times before. So what are they? That question has consumed paranormal researchers, folklorists, and frightened witnesses for 30 years. The theories are as dark as the encounters themselves. The most common, and perhaps oldest theory, ties them to demonic or interdimensional entities. Being that require consent to enter your space, your home, your car, your presence. This mirrors rule found in folklore across dozens of cultures. The vampire who cannot enter without invitation, the spirit that cannot cross the threshold of the willing. Others believe the children are extraterrestrial, the project of alien-human hybridization programs, sent here to observe, to test, to collect something from us we don't know we're giving. Some researchers have noted the striking similarity between the all black eyes of the children and description of the gray alien reported in abduction case since the 1950s. There are those who believe there is something else entirely, ghosts, echoes, psychic projection, some kind of collective hallucination born out of modern entity. And then there are those who say the simplest explanation is still possible, that they are human children used by predators, traffic, drug, their eyes darkened by extreme fear or by substance. I'll be honest with you, that theory might be the most disturbing of all, because if that's true, the right response is not to fear. You might ask yourself, what happened if you let them in? Well, a small number of people reporting letting them in, not many, but some. One man in Pennsylvania, a construction worker, not a superstitious person, said 2 children knocked on his door during a thunderstorm. He felt the dread, he felt the wrongness, but he could not bring himself to leave 2 children out in the rain. He let them in. He said they sat down at his kitchen table and they just watched him in silence. He said they didn't move for the hour they were there, didn't speak, didn't eat the food he offered, just watch him with those flat black eyes. He said the room felt colder than it should have, that his dog, a large fearless dog, covered under the bed and it didn't come out until the next morning. The children eventually stood up, walked to the front door, and left. The man was sick for 3 weeks afterward. Doctors found nothing wrong. He lost his appetite, couldn't sleep, said he felt watched constantly. He said he could still feel them sometimes, not in the room, not there, but not gone either. Others who have claimed to let them in report similar things, illness, anxiety that doesn't lift, and the feeling that something followed them home and stayed. We don't know what they are, we don't know why they come, we don't know what they want. But across 30 years and thousands of reports, one thing remained absolutely constant. Every single person who encountered them and felt that fear, that ancient, overwhelming, bodily dread, and listened to it, is still here to tell the stories. And the handful of people who opened that door, who ignored the feeling, who let the children in, none of them described the same life after. So I want to ask you something. It's late right now, and if there were a knock at your door right now, and you open it and saw two children, small, pale, still, and you looked into their eyes, what will you do? Tell me your answer in the comments below. What will you do? Because I genuinely want to know. And if you've had an experience of your own, something that doesn't fit any explanation you've been ever given, I want to hear that too. If this video reached somewhere deep enough that you need to share it, send it to someone who sleeps with the lights off. Subscribe if you want more. There are things in this world that don't follow the rules we've been given, and we're going to look at every single one of them. Stay curious and keep your door locked.